Welcome back.
To episode
18.
of another podcast that nobody asked for.
We did it good that time.
Wow, that was much better than last time.
Well, imagine if Taylor was too far away and was like, shit, I didn't realise how short. Look, you've got really long arms, haven't you?
Oh,
Like,
thanks.
what?
I know, okay, we've established
Sorry about
this.
that. I've just got all joints and I'm like, to take my body with it. Like that.
Oh, my poor arms.
Oh.
We are going to do a Q&A. We've had loads of questions, so...
Leah's had loads of questions. I didn't put a box
You
up.
didn't put a box on. I did remember last night, didn't
I'm
I?
a bad person. Yeah, you tagged me and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I just thought if I do it in the evening, people are sat watching TV, aren't they? So we get more questions. So we've had a few questions, so we're gonna basically whiz through these.
We love questions. Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna do your favourite one first.
My favourite one.
Yeah, the one that you said.
You can answer it because I ain't got a fucking clue.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's one of them things that I'm a very anti-trend person. So, if I see loads of trends going on, I swerve it for about 5 years. I'm like, I'm not joining in with that nonsense. And then in about 3 years, you'll see me in Curry's buying a Ninja Creamy.
Yeah.
Like, can you have a Ninja Creamy, please? Sorry, we don't sell them anymore.
That was
2023.
No, but let me find the question. And then we'll talk about the Ninja Creamy thing. Because everyone's on this hype at the minute, right?
I ain't had it.
Do you know? Yeah.
Well, basically, I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't need to make ice cream out of whey protein.
Yeah.
I can just have an ice cream if I want to have an ice cream.
Yeah, because everyone's like, I've been speaking to loads of people about it, and they're like, "You're gonna get one?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just I'm off season, so I'm having my normal ice cream."
Yeah.
On prep water, so obviously water column prep, right? If you use a Ninja Creamy, is water used from your daily fluid? I feel like this, for a start, is a very specific question that I would have never even thought about. This person is very on it.
Yeah, probably too much so, to be honest. So if you're meant to have 4 or 5 litres of water a day, you're meant to deduct your Ninja Creamy from it.
From your water, because you put water in a Ninja Creamy to make it.
But I mean, if you're in off season or whatever, or even in prep, it doesn't matter if you have an extra. How much water do you put in them?
I don't know.
I can't imagine it's a litre.
No.
Or do you put a litre?
Does it matter though, really, if you have a bit more water?
No. Probably matters if you have a bit too much less water, but not too much. Unless you're on peak week, of course, if you're really moderating it on peak week, but even I won't go that far on peak week, to be honest.
So I would just say, enjoy your Ninja Creamy and crack on.
Enjoy your water, yeah.
Enjoy your water.
Enjoy your water as well. Turn the tap to your delight.
You know what people are doing with these Ninja Creamers though, right? Because you're basically...
So what do you put in them? Tell me.
So you put... I don't quote me on this because I haven't got one, so I don't know. But you put whey, and then you just put water in it, basically.
Oh,
but you can put almond milk, you can put and basically it makes it into ice cream.
Wow.
But you can put frozen berries and white chocolate whey, and then you basically got, obviously, rather than just having a protein shake, which is obviously not the most amazing thing.
You can't turn it into it instantly. Do you have to wait for it to freeze?
I don't know how it works, but it's some sort of contraption machine thing that basically makes it into ice cream.
Yeah, I've seen all that, because I've seen it. Obviously, I've seen everyone having them and all that.
Yeah, but all your clients run it on there.
Yeah, because they're on prep and that, and do you know what I mean?
But in off season, it's great because you can put Oreos and stuff in it and jazz it up and make it really fancy. So now I want one because I want to make snazzy off season ice cream.
Snazzy off season ice cream.
And then I can be like, look at my snazzy ice cream. And everyone's there with their
and dribbling down your tongue.
Everyone's there with their frozen raspberry ice cream, and I'm like Oreos, Galaxy Riffles, everything's in it. But they are quite expensive, so.
Are they really?
I think they're £200.
That's a lot for ice cream.
Yeah.
Not when you're starving on prep, though, I suppose.
Anything's
You'd pay
worth
that for
it.
ice cream,
You would. But I actually used to do this in a when I was on prep in my very first prep. I used to just do it in the the normal Ninja ones.
Right.
I just used to because if you put what's it called? What's the stuff called that thickens things up? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I do.
powder.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
But that thing,
Yeah.
if you blend that in a normal blender with ice and whey protein and water, it makes it in that. So I feel like I'm ahead of the game here, and I've actually been doing this before.
You've been doing stuff for years.
Anyway, question 1. What does the perfect prep look like?
Ooh, perfect prep. Effortless, clean, don't have to work too hard. I've just had a couple of girls who've had perfect preps, actually. What a prep I would have loved. I've just had a girl get ready for a show there, Lisa. It was a class prep.
So what does that, from start to finish overview, why was that so good?
It's just the fat just kept falling off. We didn't have to do it now. Just pulled the calories down like you do at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not overly aggressive there or anything. It wasn't low. It was just where we normally kind of start. Do you know what I mean? 3 cardio sessions a week at half an hour, and that didn't change.
It just keeps coming off.
That just kept coming off right until she was ready.
Oh, wow.
And then I've had a couple of these. It's rare, but it does happen. And another girl as well. Tash was pretty similar to that, but not as much. Lisa just all fell off. And then, I mean, I think that's what happened anyway. She'll probably text me going, no, we had to change my foot at a certain point, but I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't like crazy.
I'm pretty sure we ran pretty much the same thing right throughout the prep. There might have been one change that I've forgotten about, I don't know. But I remember thinking, fuck me, that was easy. She had 3 cardio sessions a week. Then when she was ready and all the fat was off, which was like obviously the week or 2 before the show, just pulled them bits of cardio out and we just kind of strolled. It was just, effortless really.
So basically,
for her and me.
Yeah, great. Can I have that prep?
Yeah, Tash was the similar as well. Who won
Just
a lot of the naturals and stuff like that. She was athletic as well eventually. And they're both completely natural as well. Both totally natties.
Nice.
And yeah, Tash, we had a few more jimmies around. We're getting things moving, but yeah, that was fairly similar.
So basically, where you
for me, the less hard you have to push someone is the better.
Yeah, you don't keep having to change things all the time to get the body to do what you want it to do, basically.
No, and this is why I don't attack things too hard straight out the gate as well, which there is a bit of a trend of that, and there has been a bit of a trend of that, and I have tried it a bit that way as well in previous couple of years. But like Lisa, for example, so like a lot of the, if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you'll have probably seen it, a lot of the trend is you need to attack it early while people have still got a lot of fat and there's less fatigue and all the rest of it, right? I get that, and I'll usually give it a few weeks, and if it starts looking like that, we'll maybe start pumping into that. But like Lisa, for example, she's just done 20 a week, doing 3 cardio sessions a week. Calories were probably sat about, I think, like 1,900 or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't really have to change that. So why am I giving someone 40 minutes cardio 7 days a week, pulling the calories down to 1,500 straight out the gate?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might not have to actually.
If you're getting a really good response off the gate for me, like just roll with that until you have to start moving it, and that's why I do it the way I do it, and I'll set off fairly steady. And if we're not seeing as much as what you'd probably think, then we'll maybe start pushing things to get them moving.
I feel like that's how I've done all my my photo shoot preps and everything as well. Is just like see what's the most you can get away with, so that they're still getting the progress that you need.
There's no need to be unnecessary things, and like so in Lisa's case, we would have been pushing like fuck.
Yeah.
For absolutely no reason whatsoever, because we had the fat to get off and all the rest of it. But yeah, I've done that, and as you'll see with many of my preps and maybe your own, what we've done in the past, like we'll push it, and then when we need to start actually pushing it, we will.
Yeah.
Just make sure you gauge enough time in it. But for me, the perfect prep is it? What's that? Minimal effective force or whatever the saying is. Like you push as hard as you need to get what you need.
Getting like the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, most bang for your buck, basically, without having to go mad and kill people.
Yeah.
I hate it when I have to push people real hard on prep. I don't like it when I'm doing it to people if the bodies need it to get down and get in shape. And that's where a lot of I think that thing came across, because it was fashionable a few years ago to have people doing as little as possible.
Yeah,
just
like
doing
no cardio.
Just doing steps instead of cardio, trying to get them ready on fucking 3,000 calories a day, and like that's why a lot of people turn up fat for a bit, because that become really trendy. But that is off the back of coaches being unnecessary and just putting people on 1,200 calories from 20 weeks out and an hour's cardio a day and absolutely burning people into the ground.
Yeah.
So then obviously what goes up must come down. The contrast of coaches then comes along and goes, we can get people ready. Because you'll get an handful of people. I've had girls get ready doing no cardio before. Not loads of them, but they've just left the steps in and the weights just fell off, and then the next thing they're on stage and they're not doing any cardio. So it does happen with some people. Do you know what I mean? You're speaking, I wish that was me.
I know I am.
Yeah, but it's rare. Do you know what I mean? So what you'll get is you'll get a few outliers, and then you'll get some sausages come on Instagram and they're like, you're doing much. It's always the unexperienced people, especially younger people as well, or an unexperienced coach or an athlete that's just done 1 or 2 preps where it was fairly easy.
And they think everyone is the same.
And they think, oh, well, you're just doing this, it's unnecessary, you shouldn't be doing that. And like, everybody's different, do you know what I mean? So as there would never be a really experienced coach come along and say something like that, because they've lived it with so many people, they know it's not true.
And some girls do have to get lean, like especially if you're short, some girls do you have to push quite hard to get lean. Like I've even had it with like lifestyle or like shoot prep clients, because I remember when I first started coaching, I was like, like you shouldn't have to go this low, like you shouldn't have to push that hard. And then you actually find when you're working with women that are maybe don't have loads of muscle, are quite short, like they do need to go like lower calorie to actually get lean. Yeah,
you're going to an abnormal point. And again, we're not saying that about every single person.
Yeah.
but there's something for everybody. I think a lot got lost in translation from 250-pound bodybuilders taking 2 grams of gear a week and injecting left, right, and centre and taking this and that to natural females that are freaking 8 stone wet through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a completely different ballgame altogether.
Yeah. Basically smooth, everything moving without having to dig super hard.
And I think a lot of that can come from the pre-prep setup as well, and just making sure you're in the right spot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making
sure you've not got loads of body fat, your calories are like in a decent position.
Calories in a different position. These girls had a few years off stage, like that. Them things, they all weigh into it. Because I might go with the same girls if we went to compete again next year, 1 year away, and we'll get a completely separate response because they've not had enough
that makes
time
sense.
away from stage.
Okay. Oh, we didn't think about the embarrassing. We've got another question. Any embarrassing gym stories? So embarrassing non-gym, embarrassing gym.
So.
You've got one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Is it a gym or a non-gym one?
Gym. I don't know if it's embarrassing, but it hurt.
I've got something that happened to me bad in the gym, actually.
Oh, God, what's yours?
What? Go on.
I managed to trap my private parts in between 2 dumbbells at the end of a set of lateral raises with 25-kilo dumbbells.
No.
You know when you're like, and I was a bit of an explosive kind of bodybuilder. I want one of these that's like...
Yeah.
That want me, that one for me. I'm like, do you know what I mean? And I'm going mad with these 25-kilo dumbbells, bam, bam, like that. And you know when you finish them, I don't know if you do this with much lighter dumbbells, but with heavier ones, when you finish them, you kind of clang them together, so then it carries you back onto the rack.
Yeah.
Well, during the clang...
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I put them back, and I looked at my mate, and he looked at me, and he went, what? And I was like... And he said,
and then the pain hits.
And he said, then I just went white, and I was like, and I just ran off. It must have been my fight or flight instinct, just wanted to run because I didn't want to fight. That was for definite. And I just ran off. I remember I ran into the gym reception. I was like, And the gym manager told me, he was like, what? I was like, I've just trapped my bell end in between 2 massive dumbbells. He was like, so then I went off to the toilet and just watched it start to go black.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was one of my stories. Should I have said that on YouTube? Maybe not, I don't know. But there we are. That was one. I don't know if that's embarrassing, but it bloody hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything embarrassing. But I was doing, so I used to do like strength and conditioning training. So we did a lot of like barbell stuff. And I was on I was doing step-ups on a bar. Don't ever do this, it's stupid. I was doing step-ups on a box with a bar on my back.
Oh.
And I went to step down off the box and went over on my ankle and fell on my bum with the bar on my back, and it had like 40 kg on it.
That could have damaged your spine, that.
Wow, it did, because I've got this weird, I don't know if I've told you this before.
I've got this little, every time when I just try and turn to the left, I don't know.
I've got this patch on like my right quad where my leg is a bit numb.
Oh, really? I've got a couple of them, actually, where random stuff
but it's like this much of my leg, but it's not.
Is it?
And you can't see it, so I thought, well, it can't have damaged the muscle because I'm even. My legs are even. That would have absolutely ruined me if it like done something to my muscle.
Yeah.
But it must just be my skin, because when I like, when you like do this on your skin, like, I can't feel it.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them on. It's on the outside. I don't know where yours is.
Mine's on the outside too.
Near my knee at the bottom, and I've got some like
that's like where mine is.
Yeah, I've done some.
So we've done some damage to our spines.
Probably, yeah.
But nothing embarrassing really has happened. Well, it was embarrassing at the time because I was mortified that everyone was looking at me. But
I didn't feel too good about myself that day. I'm not going to lie.
What have you both learned from bodybuilding? What are your favourite and least favourite things about the sport?
Ooh. What have I learned from bodybuilding? I think bodybuilding has a massive knock-on effect into the rest of your life through perseverance of situations, whatever it might be. Because I think if you can persevere through a bodybuilding prep, and especially if you've done it for years and years, any other challenge that comes along that's quite mentally tough, whether that's in business or work, load that you get put under, or emotional stress from situations that are in your life or whatever it might be, I genuinely think it
toughens you up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just because when you get into a prep and then it starts getting hard, you'll get this. I'm assuming everybody that competes gets this. You get this like second gear that comes along where you're like, come on then, let's fucking have it.
Yeah.
You know, like you get that little buzz when it starts to get hard.
Yeah.
It's that. For me, it's like, right, come on then.
Yeah.
And I think you get that in the rest of your life with everything when it starts getting tough. You're like, right, let's fucking lock in and go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also think it actually makes you realise that even when you're really struggling and you think like you can't maybe do it, or you have like a little bit of doubt, it actually shows you that you can do it. So then you think, if you're ever in a situation where it's really hard, you think, well, like, you can do it because you've got through.
Yeah.
You've got through something that was really hard before.
Short-term sacrifices pay back long-term as well.
Yes, yeah.
So, because like nobody wants to go through that bullshit where you're going hypo on the Stairmaster, or like you start later there at 2 a.m. feeling like someone's got knitting needles in your gut and you're absolutely starving your git off. Like nobody wants to continue for that because you could just eat something and it's gone. Do you know what I mean? But you persevere for the sake of the bigger goal, and then that becomes rewarding in itself, and like that pays dividends in life as well, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I was wired like that from being a child because I did karate when I was a child, and as you know, karate is the discipline and all thing like that. And even from being like 6, 7, 8 years old, I was training 4, 5, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Bless my dad and my mum.
I know. I was thinking that.
I know, driving me about to all these places, different karate clubs and stuff. But I was like locked into that really hardly as well. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit wired like it, but I think that paid dividends to bodybuilding, and then bodybuilding now is paying dividends to my working life or my whatever I'm doing. I'm trying to whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. It teaches you to like keep going with things, even though you don't see the results straight away.
Yeah.
And you have days that maybe aren't as good. It like pushes you to keep going, and I think when it could be easy, you just think, I'll just not do it.
Yeah, and I think the gift it's actually given me now outside of that, which you'll get to when you finish competing, is it's taught me to be healthy, even though I didn't think I wanted to be. With like, so if I'm not eating good nutrition now, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
If I don't go to the gym and exercise, I feel like shit. So I'm kind of locked into that life, whether I like it or not now, because I did it from being 18 or whatever until 35, 36, whatever I was when I wrapped it in a few years ago. To like now, like I've told you about all this stuff before now, like I tried to stop training for a bit because I didn't think I needed it. Turns out I did.
Yeah.
I've not eaten the way a bodybuilder would eat, and I feel like shit. So like I'm now blessed with this gift, I suppose, that is going to help me for the rest of my life, because I'm going to keep some muscle tissue in my body, which is good for when you get old, despite what people might think. Probably not being too big, but some muscle tissue. Eating good nutritious food on a daily basis, not eating shit from morning till night and meal deals and that to survive. And I see that as a gift now. That's going to carry me through until whenever I cop it.
You've got everything locked in that you need to sort of set you up along.
And not on purpose. It's not a conscious decision. It's just the way I have to live, because that's what makes me feel.
Yeah, it's because it's been drilled in for so many years as well of doing it.
And then that has a knock-on effect with how your brain works, because then that makes you more productive in your work, in your life, in clear thinking and like happiness and just general stuff like that. So that's a gift that I believe it's given me that I didn't even ask for or expect.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. So what favourite and least favourite things? One of my favourites is probably, this is going to sound really cliche, but I feel like I've made a lot of my friends through bodybuilding.
I think all of mine are actually through it when I think about it.
Because you go through a similar thing, like you're spending time at the gym together, your hobbies are generally quite similar outside the gym, like you don't want to go out drinking, you don't really want to stay up late. So I feel like everyone's quite like, if you can get through a bodybuilding prep, you're quite similar minded, aren't you?
A lot of bodybuilders are similar minded. I mean, there's a lot of different personalities throughout bodybuilding, shall we say. But yeah, I mean, you've got similar mindsets for a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think pretty much all my friends have come from not necessarily bodybuilding, but the gym. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So most of my mates are from I ain't really got any mates that I can think of that don't train. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I still see some of my school mates, obviously, and they don't train. Yeah. But I ain't really got any actual mates in any friendship circles apart from that. Not quite jacked. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So that's like a nice thing.
Yeah. Least favourite thing? I don't know, really. It's like I say, you don't have to, I mean, you can be involved and as least involved as you want with bodybuilding, can't they? Like I say, there's plenty of maniacs in the sport.
Yeah.
I don't think bodybuilding don't make people maniacs. I think it attracts some maniacs.
Yeah.
So there's them, but you don't have to have anything to do with all that shit.
Yeah, I think obviously it's just like, it is obviously extreme, and I think some people then will make it into a really negative thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything that's negative around me, I just chop it off anyway. I shut the door, cut it off, and just say see you later. So I don't really.
I mean, I haven't had any negative experiences from the sport myself. So.
No, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the drug use in the men's side of it's a bit like you need to be fucking careful what you're doing with that.
Yeah. Does someone with good genes have an easier time to prep?
Well, if it's I suppose if it's for fat loss, they do, or they have the same time, but they end up looking better.
Yeah, or even like some people genetically are quite or if they've done sport, I guess, from a young age, maybe they just genetically build muscle a bit better, or they have like a slightly better shape.
Yeah, and that's probably because that's always like I always say this about my mum. What she used to say to me about swimmers: why don't you just do swimming, son? They've got real broad shoulders. No, mum, that's why they do swimming. That's not because they do swimming. That's why they're good at swimming. She's like, you think? I'm like, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. That's what she always used to say to me when I first started training. Just do swimming. Look at them on TV. But like, that's why people end up doing sport, because they naturally, genetically take to it quite well from the off. But yeah, I mean, it's a non-answer in it. Like people who hold less fat and lose fat easier are going to have a much easier time prepping. Like I had this conversation with a client yesterday, and like I've got to approach everybody's off seasons and prep so differently and timeline wise with what they naturally gravitate towards. Because you can put someone through an off season and they end up, no matter what you do, they end up 20 kilos above stage weight. So then you're going to have to take longer preparing like pre-prep diets and getting them into the right place and like blah, blah, blah. Whereas I'll have some clients that no matter how much food I give them or how much they go off plan or whatever they do, they never end up any more than 10 kilos above the stage weight, no matter what. And then as soon as I put them on the diet, it all just falls off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's partly genetic, mostly genetic. I mean, obviously history's got a little bit to do with it, with if they've been fat when they were younger. But again, that's probably that a lot. People say like, oh no, everyone works hard and like calorie deficit and like it doesn't work the same for everybody.
Yeah, everyone's so different, aren't they?
Let's not be fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Me and my training partner, for example, and he always says this to me, so he won't mind me saying it. We ate the same. We took the same gear pretty much. We trained together for 10 years straight. He ended up about whatever, I don't know, like at his biggest, about 16 stone or whatever. And I ended up 23 stone. Like we didn't do anything different. Yeah. We trained equally as hard as each other. And we ended up two completely different people. And like I say, he says that to me, so he don't mind me saying that. But it's not, I wasn't doing anything. It's just genetic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so.
Yeah, so the short answer, yes, probably.
She'll never commit. Yes, probably. You might be correct.
You may be. I have small...
Lee. No. What's Leah going to say now? She's took a big breath.
I have a small waist and wide shoulders. Is this the good genes?
That's the swimmer's genes, baby.
What is the good genes for you to do the bodybuild thing? I think that's what I say.
The bodybuild.
That's good genetics. If you got, well, you might have just trained already to get like that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, my brother's a good example of this. I think my brother would have been a better bodybuilder than me if he wanted to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He had a smaller waist and broader shoulders, but he just wanted to take to the pub, let's say. I'm not say what I was going to say, but
I know what you're
he likes to party. Do you know what I mean? And that's all he does. He doesn't go to the gym, but yeah, if you've got a small waist and broad shoulders,
that's basically like.
Of course, that's good because your frame is already there. Then as long as you've got good, because I've known people with small waist and broad shoulders, they just never really grow any muscle. And so they've got to struggle to grow muscle even though they've got the good frame.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean definitely that's going to be the case, but that would be a good indicator of usually a more athletic human.
Yeah.
And they usually have a better time growing muscle as well.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Do they agree?
Yeah, I agree. We've already touched on this earlier. What show category is, what's the name? You just showed me her.
Monique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dan didn't answer my comment.
Well, I think I remember what this was, and it's like, I remember reading the comment and thinking it was a bit like, I was like, what? Do you know what I mean? I think I responded saying that anyway, what?
Okay.
Or something like that. And I don't remember seeing a reply to that pop up. I think they just asked what Monique was doing. Monique's one of my clients that I posted up a while back, and everyone was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where's she come from?
Yeah.
She's been competing for years. I've seen her kicking about for years on stage. The way she was showed to bodybuild was not necessarily ideal, and she was not getting the results she possibly should. And then I've been with her for the last year and a half now, whatever it is, took her away from competing, got all her health correct and her body right and everything firing again. And I've put her back into prep. She's grown a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
So last time she competed, she was training bikini.
Yep.
That's what she was doing. Could she have done figure? And I think she did do some natty figure stuff as well, actually. Yes. She's a lot bigger this time. So obviously we've started dieting and was going to come back for train bikini initially until I seen her and I was like, I think we need to do a figure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to do some figure stuff. she might still jump in a train bikini show, possibly on the side. Because as you know, you can do athletic and figure in train bikini, like just change your poses. She is more figure now for definite, but she still might jump in. But figure's going to be the priority really for her.
Exciting. I think she looks really good.
Yes, she is definitely a genetic specimen, that's for sure. Back to genetics.
I know, that's all it all comes down to. If you've been recommended to take thyroid hormones such as T3, would that mean you would no longer be able to compete as a natural athlete, even if it's for health rather than assistance?
Well, that depends. I mean, if you've been prescribed it by a doctor, then I'm assuming that's...
That's actually a really good question that I don't know the answer to.
I think that's okay. I think. And because I've had natural clients who have been prescribed testosterone, females who've like had problems.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I mean? And I believe, like, don't quote me on this, you natty people, because I would have to thingy it.
We'll have to do some
you natty
research
people,
into this.
not like me people, you natty people. I believe this client at the time, I believe she contacted the federation, and I think that they said it was okay. But I might be completely wrong on that.
We need to basically research that and come back.
Yeah, you need to just ask the people who've done the natty stuff. Like, it's not something I've actually encountered and then put somebody on stage, so I can't be certain. However, if you're being prescribed thyroid medication, you've obviously got a medical issue which needs to replace it, because you're only replacing back to normal levels.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it and you've got a prescription for it, I would think that's okay. I would think. I'm not 100% clarifying it. And if you're not, then no, you're going to get busted for taking drugs, because it's a drug if you don't need it.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate and come back to this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big question.
Oh.
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
How would you recommend or support a client to investigate what they may be intolerant to or what might be triggering GI inflammatory responses, e.g. dairy, gluten, certain vegetables, garlic, onion, etc., or even spices, or direct them to hormone, thyroid, autoimmune investigations?
That was a long question.
You know what I would start with here, because I've had a lot of clients have issues recently, is I always get them at the start to just go and get just a general blood test at the start, just to make sure they're not like celiac or something.
Yeah.
Just to rule it out, and also just to keep a food diary, because sometimes we can actually identify, like I've got some clients, for example, that really struggle with pasta, and you can just pull it up from a food diary, and then we know, we pull it out and everything's fine. Like I've had that recently. Yeah,
because even if people are not celiac and stuff, there's sometimes a bit... Pasta and bread is something that people are sometimes quite sensitive with, which is where it gets its rap of being bloating or whatever, which is only for some people, really.
Yeah. So I always start with that.
You can get every test in the world now. We don't even have to guess.
Yeah, and then you can just go and get... We were talking about this earlier. You can get like the test now where you can... The test...
Poo test.
Yeah. The
poo-poo test.
They test your poo-poo and they tell you what you're intolerant to.
They can literally tell you everything, yeah.
Yeah.
They can literally
Which is so clever, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I watched a programme on it, actually. I actually watched a programme on TV on it.
Did you?
I watched somebody who had...
Did you watch that?
They might be. You might have watched it anyway.
I think because I got really wrapped up in this. I was like, this
putting poo
is so
in capsules and taking
that microbiome, gut microbiome.
Yeah,
it did it like absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah,
like, I thought it was so interesting.
I think was it a woman who was taking her brothers and they had spots and she started getting spots, so they had to take somebody else's.
That whole thing, I was like, this is really
this
weird.
This is a fucked up program.
Yeah,
I'm in for it. Yeah, well, yeah. There's all these tests you can get done. Obviously, you can get all the intolerance and allergy tests. And you can, if you really want to deep dive into it and you're getting real problems with maybe gut microbiome and stuff like that, then you can get the poo test. Atlas does that.
Yeah,
I've been working with Atlas recently, and I've had a few clients use that, and it's been immensely helpful because you can test all through hormone stuff and that through it as well. And obviously they do the Dutch test as well.
Yeah. So basically, get your bloods done. Just get all the testing done, and then you know.
I mean, nowadays, unless you haven't got the budget to do it, like the food elimination diet, it just takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take ages. You might as well just get a thing that tells you. And it'll flag up the major things, minor things, and I think they do major, medium, and then minor, and then obviously nothing, or something like that anyways.
Yeah, because I know when, because a lot of people will say, oh, I've got IBS and stuff, and they try and get you to do that. It's that FODMAP diet. But you basically have to exclude everything and it's such a long process.
Drawn out process, yeah.
Yeah, so... And I think also, going back to what we said on the last podcast, like, make sure that you actually eat your regular meals, like you're on like a good structure, because it might be that you think you're intolerant. You'll have this with clients, right? Like when they're like, I'm intolerant to this. And then when they actually sort the diet out, they're actually all right.
Yeah, literally.
So it might be that they don't even need to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know where the thyroid bit quite comes into it and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But just get blood work done and it'll tell you everything, and then get somebody who knows what they're doing. I can't remember. I've been working with that Atlas a little bit with my clients. Honestly, I can't recommend them enough.
Yeah.
They've been so good. They do all the blood tests. You can get it sent to your house and all the rest of it. There's a bunch of different tests. Holly, who runs it, is happy to speak to people and give them
she's lovely as well.
Point them in the right direction. Yeah, she's sound. Then they've got 2 GPs working for them as well. I actually had a consult with one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Just before I went on holiday, actually. It was really good.
Yeah.
I got my bloods done because I get them done twice a year anyways. Everything was pretty much all right. She said, "Do you want a thing with a GP?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" He's a real nice guy, the one I got. It's called Max. He went through absolutely everything, explained a bunch of stuff in further detail as well, to stuff that I want as savvy with, and went a bit further into it, which was interesting. And yeah, they've got 2 GPs, and then they've got Dr. Dean as well, who will talk about something a bit more non-specific. Like sometimes GPs can't talk about certain things with bodybuilders, as you can imagine, but Dr. Dean St. Mark can do that. I've jumped on a few calls with my clients that I've had with him, because sometimes people's bloods will come up and it's like, whoa, do you know what I mean? There's stuff where you can read and it's like, okay, and then there's stuff where you're like, fuck me,
I get you.
We need to go a bit more in depth with that. And I honestly don't think, unless you're a qualified professional as a coach, we should be deep diving as far as that. Or I don't know, a lot of them pretend to know more than they do, which is that's what I hate about the bodybuilding industry.
When people
coaches acting like doctors, that is something that really gets on my tits, and it's putting people in danger. That really winds me up. So they've got Dr. Dean for that. So some of the things that are more complex, I will definitely push my clients onto, and they'll let me sit on the calls as well.
Yeah, that's helpful for you.
Yeah, really helpful.
Okay.
Anywho,
so to keep building for bikini, do you keep lifting heavier? What's your advice on training?
If you want to build muscle, lift as heavy as you can. If you want to stop building muscle, I would probably still keep lifting as heavy as you can, but lower your food a little bit. Don't eat too much into a surplus and just maintain what you've got, and possibly back off a couple of reps in reserve, and that'd be as simple as it is, really. Yeah,
especially like if you're in bikini and you still need to make progress, or like you're still lacking muscle in certain areas, you still need to build muscle.
It's the same process for everything.
Yeah. So
bikini girls train hard as fuck. It's not. 2014 was a bit of a different situation where you was meant to just look like you did on the beach or whatever, weren't you? Or 2011, 12 when it first came out.
Yeah, a bit more kind of like
bikini girls are jacked. They're no less jacked than anybody
else. Very shredded now.
And very lean as well,
Yeah, so basically, keep lifting heavier. Advice on training in general, like you still training very similarly, regardless of what class you're doing. I guess it's just dependent on, is there a certain area that you need to build up? So like if you know that your glutes are lacking, like focus on your glutes more. So I guess it's just
tipping the volume and direction that you need to.
Yeah, but that would be the same for any class, not just.
It's the same for every category. All training is the same. It's just tilted it whichever way you need to do it.
Vacuums or ab training for bikini comps? Love your pod. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I love vacuums. Me, to be fair,
I've never done vacuums.
I think for certain individuals, I'll tell them to do it. So if I've got an individual that I notice when they're posing, they're blowing a bit. I'll tell them to do it. Anybody can do it. Like a lot of them do it off their own back because they like to do it.
You can do like YouTube's on it, can't you, and stuff?
Yeah, you don't need to, as a bikini girl, you never really see. I mean, some figure girls like Shannon, for example, she loves a vacuum, doesn't she? It does look good on certain athletes. Shannon being one of them. I don't think I've ever seen a bikini girl do it. I don't know how that'd go down. I don't think that'd look too great because it's more in the overhead stuff in it. But a vacuum for just overall control of your midsection on stage is excellent. So if I've got someone that's checking in and they're turning around, and then as they're getting a bit, I can see this is starting to happen, I'll be like, I'll send them this. This is a vacuum. Follow this video. Do that every single day.
Just shows you how to keep everything a bit like tighter. Basically.
It just holds without even thinking. It holds everything. So it's the muscles inside. I think it's transverse abdominis is it the ones inside. So it trains them muscles to be able to hold everything without
like
any
deep core muscles.
Yeah, deep core muscles. Yeah. So, and it's handy for other stuff probably as well. Like it should be more stability throughout your midsection in day-to-day life, which is if you've got back problems and stuff.
Ab training for back problems though, generally it does help a lot. Yeah,
because it's 50%. It's like if you imagine it as a full belt all the way around, you need that to be strong for that. Otherwise, that's copying all the work.
And even like even since I've started training abs more, like recently.
Sorry, Leah.
Bane of my life.
You've been doing it at the beginning as well.
What?
You've been doing it at the beginning of the workout.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Make sure you do these at the beginning. Otherwise, they'll get fucked off because there's 7,000 sets. Sorry.
It literally is. No, I do it with my cardio. So I'll bunch it together on that day, and then I don't have to do it after my leg day.
Yeah, true.
Still do it 4 times a week though.
Hell yeah.
But I do think generally with ab training, like when you start training your abs more, it makes you more aware. Like even when you just stood, like, you know, when I'm doing like a leg press or a squat now, like it's made me, because I used to watch videos and I was like, oh God, this looks awful. Yeah. But then when you start training your abs, you can like hold everything a bit more when you're doing like your bigger lifts as well.
Just naturally does it, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is loads better.
Which is why people say, do I have to train abs in the off season? I'm like, yeah, that's why they're on everybody's program. Just to keep a core thing, a core thing there. Sorry for the pun. Across the full year. It's definitely very handy. Do you know what I mean?
Because you want like, when you're lean, obviously, you've got the body fat there, you can't really see them. But when you're lean, you need to have the actual ab muscle there.
Yeah.
When you diet down.
To be visible, yeah. Which is why, like, so, and it's different for every client with me, which is why what we're talking about with Leah at the minute, because yours are not massively pronounced.
No, they're not.
Naturally, where a lot of people, you know, for me, I don't really ever usually want to build abs. I think some bodyweight training is enough generally for most people. And then when they take the body fat away, there's enough. Because you're not looking for deep, blocky abs in figure and bikini. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that they're looking for, like bodybuilding. It's impressive, whether like that, like bomb, bomb, bomb. Yeah. But like for figure and stuff, it's not something you want to stand out hugely, in my opinion.
But you want like the lines, don't you?
But really? If you've not got naturally like visible good abs, like you for example, now we're trying to build them, aren't we? So now we are using weight for the ab training and stuff like that.
Because I literally have it's basically just like flat and there's just like no ab there.
Yeah, so we're trying to build more so it has more of a visual impact when she's stood in them like front relaxed shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically build your ab training, but I guess you don't want to be going like... If you've already got visible abs, you don't want to be going like super mad in terms of loading it loads.
Yeah, it's just not necessary because there's the chance of it thickening up around all this, what you don't really want.
Like your obliques and stuff, which you don't really want to make your waist thicker, do you?
No, and people say, well, I'll just do it on the front of my abs, but when you do your abs, everything, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Stuck on the heaviest weight in my compounds, what now?
Good question. There's a bunch of different reasons why that could be. Sometimes you've just been running an exercise for so long it just dies, and sometimes swap it for something that's quite equivalent. So move over to a different
variation.
Different variation of the same exercise is always good. So if you've been doing regular deadlifts for 9 months straight and you can't get anything more out of it, maybe move to an RDL or a stiff leg deadlift, or move to dumbbells, stiff legs, or something that's getting a similar work to what you want out of it for a bit.
So you can reset it and then basically build.
Yeah, so you can reset a different movement pattern, which is then still loading up same or similar muscles, but you've got a fresh starting point because it makes it more difficult. So you go from there and give you a runway of progress to be made, as they say on Instagram. Or a good trick I used to do, and it depends how far they are into this, but a good trick I always used to do, and sometimes when clients get stuck, I'll tell them this, drop, as long as you're safe to do it. So say you're doing a squat, right? Let's say it's squats. Let's just say deadlifts. We've been talking about deadlifts. And you've been doing, and you're shooting for sets of 6 to 8 or whatever. And you're a few months in and you get stuck and you've done 3 or 4 weeks and you're stuck at the same weight and you can't get past the bastard. Say you've got 100 kilos on there and that's what you're stuck at. So I would then move up to like a 2 or a 3 rep max for a couple of weeks, which they don't really build muscle as much. I'm not a massive fan of them. However, if you move over to that for the next couple of weeks and say it goes up to 115 for a 2 or 3 rep max, whatever it is, just for example's sake numbers, you're able to pull that 2 or 3 safely, may I add. You don't want to be hurting yourself. Yeah. Then when you go back to the 100, a few weeks later, it naturally just feels lighter and you'll just generally just blow straight through what you were stuck at. So if you're stuck at 7 reps on 100 kilos, then you go to 115 kilos for 2 reps for 2 weeks or whatever it might be. Then when you go back to the 100 kilos, you just go straight to 8 and 9 reps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I used to do that a lot on like hack squats and stuff like that when I used to get stuck on like hack squats.
Yeah.
And or even just at the end of your session, just do it. Or do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just so your body and everything's just used to that heavier weight. Yeah, and it just when you go back to it, you just fly straight through it generally. Yeah,
sometimes I'll do the same. I don't tend to go that low, but sometimes I'll be like, if they've got a set of 8 to 10, I'll pull the rep range back to maybe like 6 to 8, so they can get a little bit more on the weight, and then they'll build it back up, and then soon they'll be hitting their 8 to 10 again. Yeah. So it's just adjusting like the targets a little bit, isn't it? Or resetting
more things around. Obviously, that works well as well.
Oh, last couple. We touched on this earlier. Can you still place if competing with loose skin on your stomach?
Yeah, you can still place. I mean,
Depends how much it affects your overall
yeah, it depends
look, doesn't it?
how bad it is, how much it damages your look. There's a lot, and you can, I don't know if I've mentioned this on here before actually, but you can pull it down. I've had people a lot in the past.
Tuck it under
pull
the
it
bottom
down,
of the
get
bikini.
some bikini bite or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Stick it to the inside of your kegs, like your
Yeah.
bikini front. And if you've got a good bikini maker as well, they'll generally accommodate a little bit of a bigger bottom on the front, so that's a little bit more space there. And then, as bad as it sounds, and the first time I did it, I remember thinking, "What the hell am I doing here?" And she just tucked it down and stuck it, and it didn't move.
Yeah,
And you couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
you couldn't tell, because obviously naturally occurring when women have kids, or even if they've just lost tons of weight over a period of time, sometimes you're going to get that loose skin there, and like bodybuilding judges don't want to mark down for that. Do you know what I mean? But if something is taken away from your overall look, then it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, 100%.
But they will, and I will say with the PCA, they will definitely try to look past that sort of thing, because it's not something you've done.
It's a bit out of your control, really.
Yeah,
isn't
you've
it?
had kids like you're women. That's what that's what you're meant to do, is what I was going to say. But that's not really what I mean. It's just what happens in it, and then you want to compete after that. They're not going to be trying to look for that to mark you down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, basically you can. Are the classes at PCA capped at a certain number, or could you have 30 people turning up for one class? They'll just split up, won't they? Basically,
it's generally 14.
Yeah.
14 is generally the magic number for when it gets splits.
Yeah, but then they'll split into, like, for example, with Tone sometimes they've done 3 height classes, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they'll just break it down.
I think that year there was something like fucking 39 ton figure girls or
mad,
something like
wasn't
that.
it?
Yeah. And they'll split it up. And obviously it's difficult, because what you get is you might have loads of them turn up that are the same height, and that's where it becomes difficult. So if they're all within the same height bracket, and say there's like 15 turn up, then
this is what they tried to do to make the universe.
Well, you was on the board,
and I was like, nope, I'm going on, and that's that.
Yeah, they're going to change the height class as you was walking out or whatever.
Yeah. We'll just quickly change it behind the stage.
Yeah, because you're like 5'4.5".
I'm like on the borderline for short and tall.
I think the cut can move depending what heights turn up on the day as well. I think, don't quote me on that, but I think, because I don't have anything to do with that. But it's generally 5'4.5" as a plain thing. But like I say, if you have 13 people turn up that are under 5'4.5" and one person turn up that's over 5'4.5",
they'll just move like the bottom 2 or 3 up.
Yeah, they try and make it as fair as possible, really. As far as I know, anyways.
I looked at like Charlie and Amy, and I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and then you went into, you had an hard class, anyways. You had a right hard class. You had who was the girl that come second? What's her name again?
I know, I can picture her.
Yeah. Is Denise or Debbie or something like that?
No, it's sorry.
Freaking hell, this is bad. We shouldn't be saying.
I know. This is so bad. But I know exactly what she was.
Yeah, I ain't seen her for ages on Instagram. Actually, I see her all the time. But yeah, she was fucking real good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah, and it was what's her name? God, I always want to call her Erin, and her name's not Erin. It's Kirsty.
Kirsty. Oh yeah, Mark Kirsty. Yeah, she was in there as well. Once she got third that year. That was the first year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a right hard class.
Yeah.
She was
Davina.
victorious. You what?
Davina.
Yeah, Davina, that's it.
Oh, I knew it.
Debbie. Sorry, Davina. I was just clutching at D's there.
That is all of the NGL ones.
Yeah, okay. We got all the ones off your Insta as well.
Yeah, that's them all.
We seemed like we had more than that. I should have put a box up, shouldn't I?
That was all of them.
I don't know how long we've been banging on for.
Is there anything else you want to touch on? We went through an update in the last episode, so if you haven't watched the last episode...
Yeah, watch that. One thing I have got coming up, actually, and it'll be round about the time that this one gets put out, is my posing workshop.
Oh, nice.
My biannual... There's no bi people there. Well, there might be bi people there, but my biannual posing workshop for
what
Team
date is that
DW. August 11th, which reminds me I need to put out all the details for the clients to get booked on. But
Hull.
Yes, we're going to Hull. I can't travel forever, can I? We're going in Hull, Total Fitness like usual. And yeah, that's always a good time. I love them days because everyone travels up. It's good to see everyone, what they're going to look like in stage, what they're going to look like in lineups, what they're going to look like in general. We'll do face-to-face check-ins and catch up with everyone. Obviously, Kayla's there doing all the posing for us and whatnot. And it's usually around about the time that I start putting people in the final poses as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as you know, on prep, as things change, you start moving around the pose and things like that. So I usually start deciding everyone's kind of final posing sequences and stuff with all the strong shots, and putting that together for them. So yeah, I love that one. the March one was busy as shit, to be fair.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be, because obviously the beginning of the year is quieter. And then last minute it just filled right up, and I was like, shit, this is the busiest it's ever been.
That's good.
Yeah, so God knows what the August one's going to be like, because obviously a lot more people competing. But yeah, that'll be interesting and fun.
Exciting.
So that's going on. And then we're back into the season again. As this is coming out, we'll be getting very close to that.
Yeah.
Obviously kicking off with Wales, Manchester. I've got some flights in the BNBF actually at the end of August also. And as well, I was chatting to the PCA at the weekend about things for them next year, and I believe they're bringing out quite a lot of natural shows.
Oh, that would be amazing, because that one was a busy show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and possibly natural finals as well.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So yeah, we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see what occurs from that. It's a conversation that they were having.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Exciting.
It is, yeah, because I think the natty stuff. We was in here after the natty show last time, weren't we? And it's just so big. I couldn't believe how big it was.
Yeah.
And there's so much more. So possibly some first timers natural shows as well. Maybe that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, the two scenes are tying together, because there's so many naturals, like we said before, that do PCA stuff.
Yeah.
There's loads. As we know, I had Frankie there, just turned natural. She didn't turn natural. She already was natural.
She turned natural.
Turned pro natural.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
And yeah, the girl who was just talking about Monique there, who was competing at the end of the year, she's completely natural as well. She'll be doing some of the natural federation stuff. So it's more common than people think. I think just not everybody does the natty feds in it.
Yeah, which is really exciting. So yeah, all good, really.
Yeah. Are we rounding that off?
We're rounding it off. I did all my updates in the last one, so I don't have anything else exciting going on.
I forgot all the man. I remembered the dumbbell story, and I remembered the posing workshop as well that I forgot all about.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, should we cap that off then?
Yeah, we're all good.
Episode number 18. Finished.
Yeah.
Over and out. Leah's going to do a thing, what she does anyway, and tells you to subscribe and like and whatever it is.
I am. Please subscribe.
I should subscribe as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah, well, why are you not subscribed?
I don't know. We said this last time, didn't we? I don't know how to work YouTube very well.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of the adverts and learn how to subscribe to things. I might have subscribed, actually. I don't know if I did, because when Shannon was doing something for me with the YouTube or something, whatever she was doing, she messaged me, she goes, do you know you don't even subscribe to Leah on YouTube? She was like, that's really bad, Daddy. And I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I didn't know I needed to do
you
that.
Just click the red subscribe button.
I know, but it's on my TV. I don't know what to press. There's fucking thing flying all over the place.
You can watch my prep updates where I'm allergic.
Yeah, it's coming up on my screen. I don't want to. I've had enough of your prep update this morning at check-in. I don't need to see it on my TV. Get off.
No, actually, the off-season one's going really well.
You've been doing that, yeah?
Well, I've missed a couple of weeks because it's been manic with the weekends, but I'm going to get back on it. But yeah, the one I did, the first one was like had quite a lot of like comments and stuff on it. So
yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people share the prep, don't they? And then it's like they've gone off the face of the earth.
Well, I think usually when people do the off-seasons ones, people don't follow it as much, do they? And that's what puts people off. But I think it's cool that you're putting that on. And I shall tell you, as a retired bodybuilder, you will thank yourself later on for having as much footage as physically possible. From when
it's
you was
all on
doing
there.
it.
There's loads.
Yeah, class.
I did
jealous.
When I did the shows as well. So I got like videographers on. So I'm so glad I did that, because I've got loads of like really nice photos and like videos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, with the British
last year. Yeah.
Like all that's like filmed.
Yeah,
so
that
it's
was
really nice.
Who was the photographer again?
Bethany.
Yeah, that's
She's
it.
fantastic.
'Cause she did Frankie's.
Yeah.
And then when I met her, I said, nice to meet you. And she went, I've met you before. I was like, oh, shit.
No, but her photos honestly are brilliant. She did some stuff for me and Hannah when we were like on prep, and she came to film us, and she's really, the photos are fantastic.
Yeah, because she goes out with that Andy, is it Kellier? Is that how you say it? Kellier or something like that.
I'm not 100% sure.
Obviously, I've known him from kicking about in bodybuilding years ago, from where I was doing it. And he used to do a bit of prep coaching and that as well, which I think he just does the man sets type of thing now, doesn't he?
I think I'm not sure.
That sort of stuff, yeah. I think he moved away from bodybuilding, I think. And yeah, so that was good. I met her and she went, you've already met you before? And I thought, oh, great. Not this again. Because you don't remember.
No, I do hate it. That happens to me in the gym sometimes. You know, when someone like smiles and like waiting, like, oh, you're right. And they're like, oh my God, they know me and I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I know. bloody, it's my bad memory. It's from going back to that book. It told me that I don't remember things. I'm like, I'm not just deluded.
You do meet a lot of people though, and like, you know, when you're like thinking about other things and you see someone in passing, you don't.
I'm terrible. I've said this before. I think at recognizing people off Instagram, even people that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
They'll come up to me at a show and I'm just drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at that. Like, and then about 4 hours later, I think. Oh,
yeah,
fucking
that's
hell.
what
Do you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm like, I wish I wasn't like that. I'm really envious of these people that just recognise everybody, remember everybody's name and all that. I don't know if I can teach that into myself. Maybe I'll Google it when I get out of here. I'll forget.
I'll forget to Google it. I think I'm trying to remember.
Strawberries. Oh, Leah's YouTube. Oh, there's me.
No, you are in it, I think.
I'm in it?
Yeah.
What,
yeah, you are, because on the like
off-season one?
No, not in the off-season one.
Oh, right, yeah, the show one.
In the show ones and stuff, you're in a few of them and like...
I'll have to give them a skeg. I'm just floating about like this.
I'm like, I've had my checking back from Dan. What's he done today?
All right,
Taking some feed away from me.
the bastard. Nobody never told me I'm in it. Just cursing me out all the time. Like them explicits on the screen censored.
I don't think I've ever said anything bad, don't worry.
Well, no, because I'll just take more food if I found out, wouldn't I? Oh, you didn't like that food drop, did you? What about this one, Leah? Rice, yeah, you wish. Porridge, porridge
that?
for losers. Fucking hell.
Oh, God, but yeah, that's all go well. So, yeah, if
wish
you
I
want to
could-
follow along an off-season, subscribe.
I need a YouTube, don't I? I even got this on YouTube. This is even on your YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
I don't even own this.
I know.
Why don't I have a YouTube? I need to do that. It'd be fun following me around all day when it just sat there. Yeah. You want to be bigger? More rice, less chicken. Oh, you want to be leaner? More chicken, less rice. Is that what you do all day, Dan? Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
You can start doing some day in the life vlogs.
Day in the life of DW.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Not fancy that.
Following me about, just swearing at old women in traffic. Fuck off! I'm only joking. I only do that to young women. That sounds worse. Should we log off now before I get arrested? I don't pick on any women, honestly. Just ugly women. No, not even that.
God.
I'm only joking.
Anyway.
There's only ugly women that talk to me anyway. I'm joking. I'm not joking. Oh, dearie me. Are we done now?
We're done.
Bye, Mum. Oh, dear.
I'm dying.